Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Dan Blanchard with the Traveling Time with Dan show, where we mix travel with history and with leadership and of course with me, Dan Blanchard. Today I am at Fort Adams in Newport, Rhode Island. Fort Adams was named after President John Adams, where he commissioned it in 1799, and it's sitting right here as a sentinel in the Narragansett Bay or the Newport Harbor, a deep harbor that was very, very, very important, very, very, very strategic. Right, the British could land here, obviously, back during the wars and invade Newport, and they do, and we'll talk about that in a moment. If you look over here, you see the fort, the Newport Fort here, Fort Adams. It's made out of Maine granite and Newport shale, which helps it fight off like the saltwater air, the corrosion and destruction of the saltwater air, and of course the cannon fire that was taking place during those days. Now, during the American Revolution, during the American Revolution, the British occupied Newport for numerous years, and we knew that that was a problem, but we couldn't seem to stop them. During the War of 1812 with the British blockaded us here in Newport. Again, very, very strategic harbor here. They blockaded us, and we couldn't do anything to stop them because at the time, Fort Adams was basically a first system, defense system, where it was basically moved or used out of like earthworks and like wood, a bunch of wood barriers and stuff like that. So it couldn't really stop like the best military in the world, England. It couldn't do it. Now, eventually what's going to happen is you're going to get to see what you're seeing right now. The granite is going to become a third system, defense system, a more permanent system right here with the big granite blocks that can defend against the cannons. And here in Newport, the very, very strategic harbor here in Newport, right? This system right here, this fort, this third system becomes one of the most complex and best systems within all the counties and within the United States, right? It's really, really good. And the really cool thing is the museum over here too. The cool thing is that it basically saw no action after the War of 1812 when they built this up. It took about 30 years to build this fort up, and every single inch of it is covered by defensive fire. After about 30 years it took to build it, but it basically saw no action. It became a big deterrent, which is super, super important for it to become a deterrent like that. Way better not to be shot upon if you can get it, right? The British or whoever was just like, forget that, we're not going to go there. So this kind of reminds me of it being such a deterrent and not really seeing any real action. Reminds me of the big fort up there in Maine, and of course the one in Boston, same sort of thing. It was just like, hey, it ain't worth attacking that thing, right? So now this thing's been used over the years for many, many things, right? During the Civil War, the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis was considered to be way too close to where the Confederates were, and they relocated it right here to this fort for 3 years during the Civil War, right? This fort was used in all of them, like the Mexican-American War, World War I, World War II was the command center here. It was very, very important in World War II. After World War II, President Eisenhower, believe it or not, used this Fort Adams as the summer White House, which is kind of like cool, right? This thing has just basically been throughout its history the sentinel of the Narragansett Bay, keeping watch and keeping Newport, Rhode Island safe. And today they've got a lot of cool things here. There's museums here, really cool cannon right there. They do tours here. There's so many cool things here. Of course, they got the Newport folk and jazz festivals. Very, very busy. They hold it here, right? You got to get here really early if you want to go to those. They actually shut down the gate because there's just too many people arrive. It's a lot of cool, good times here. Again, this thing has been for a long time the sentinel of Narragansett Bay. just watching over Newport, protecting Newport, and making sure people don't get any crazy ideas of ever trying to invade Newport again or blockade Newport again. Today, this is also a National Historic Landmark, right, which is pretty cool. So, you know, when I do Travel on Time with Dan, I like to mix travel with history, with leadership. Definitely going to come down here. You see, people are down here all the time. There's people jogging over there. If you could see them, there's people jogging over there. It's like a pretty much like a park, the leisure park. Come and enjoy your time. See, definitely like Newport, Rhode Island's amazing. This fort, the grounds here is amazing. You definitely want to travel down here, check it out. Giving you some of the history. Now, what's some of the leadership? Leadership principles here are short and sweet, but very, very impactful. Here it is. You ready? The 3 Ps. Preparation prevents problems. It's that simple, right? It's that simple. A lot of problems have been avoided because of this fort, right? Well, everybody, thank you for spending time with me today on the Travel on Time with Dan show in Newport, Rhode Island. Today, where we mixed travel with history and leadership, and of course with me, Dan Blanchard. I'll be back real soon with another great episode somewhere else. Until then, you take care.